My name is Wizard Boy Tarot. I do collective channeled messages for everybody. And today I feel like there's just a lot that's going to come out that I'm not too sure what's going to come out, but it's going to be something that you need to hear. If you found this, it's absolutely meant for you because it's a straight channeled. I have no planning put into this whatsoever, but I feel like there's a lot of moving pieces in your life right now. Like there's a lot of moving pieces. Things are shifting, and it's almost like you finally thought you were at a point where things were more concrete. And where they weren't going to be moving as much, but it's like as soon as that happened, things started moving very quickly again. But it's almost like maybe not so quickly, but it's that multiple things are moving at once. I think that you actually feel like things are moving slow, but it's because you don't see how much is moving behind the scenes. And it's also, you might like feel a lack of preparedness around this time, but trust that you're exactly where you need to be. You're exactly where you need to be right now. And I feel like a lot of you had to go through this period of like self-isolation and like being apart from other people to really like feel yourself and get into your own energy to determine what you want for yourself. And then once you did that, it was kind of time for you to reintegrate with the previous energy so that you could approach it with a new lens. And once you did that, it kind of felt, in a way it may have felt cyclical, but I think it only felt that way because it's like you removed yourself, felt yourself, went back into these endeavors or passions or groups or whatever it may be, just to like, I feel like you were like called back into these spaces, and you can't, I was gonna say couldn't, but I feel like you can't and don't really understand why. You're like, I feel like I pulled myself out of A, B, and C. Why am I being drawn back there now? And I feel like it's because Spirit has a plan for you in these specific spaces that you're unaware of. You don't have to be aware of it, but what you do need to do is prepare yourself, because you know that you have big plans, you know that you have ambition, and you need to just play the game right now. Because I feel like you took yourself out of certain situations because you needed to feel yourself. Now that you do, you went back into said situation, but it's with a new lens so you can see how it can benefit you, not how it's destructive. Like you already saw how it could be destructive and you lived that, and now it's time for you to see how you can build with it and from it, right? I think that it's a new chance for you to integrate yourself into passion and development of projects. It's a new opportunity. And I feel like you like you had this opportunity before, but you weren't ready. Like you didn't know what you wanted. You weren't ready for it. Therefore, it did not pan out in the way that it quote should have. Like you feel like maybe, oh, this could have gone somewhere crazy beautiful, but it didn't. Somehow, like I felt like it did, but then there was just this cutoff of it or something. Like this is a really interesting energy, and I'm sorry if this is not making any sense, but I feel like there was a direction you were heading, and then there was some like very abrupt cut off of that direction. You had to isolate and integrate, and then now you're kind of like back on that same pathway and you're moving forward through it, but it's in a whole nother manner. It's on a whole nother level. It's in a whole new way. Like this is in a way that you've never moved like this before. Like you've never had enough of your own self-identity and enough of your own direction to understand that this was meant for you. It could have been that like you were introduced with all these opportunities and you just didn't know how to handle them, so you kind of just like went with whatever you felt like, and that was where you needed to be because it taught you a lot. But you very quickly realized like, oh, here's why that's not going to work for me, or here's why this works better for me. I think that you're in this very delicate balancing period of your life, because it's like, okay, you can use those pieces, people, groups, energies that you left behind. You can use those now that you're like re-immersed in it. You can use it, but you're having to also learn how to balance that with boundaries, because I feel like a lot of you were lacking boundaries. Like you found something that you really wanted to do and pursue, but then you got so wrapped up in everyone else's life in this endeavor that you just didn't know how to keep going with it and keep your self-identity. So that's why I had to isolate, is to like keep your identity separate from this project or from this pathway or from this thing or from these people or from this energy, whatever it is that you're thinking about right now, whatever it is that this resonates with. You had to refine yourself. You had to. It was a necessary part of the journey. And so now that you have yourself back, now that you have your power back, now that you're feeling yourself, now that you know what you want, it's like, okay, now use it. Now use it. You know what you're doing now. Now instill those boundaries. Understand that just because you're working with people or because you're getting somewhere or networking because of a certain group of people, a certain person, a certain job, a certain energy, a certain situation, that doesn't mean that you have to lose yourself in it. And that doesn't mean that you have to be friends with people that you work with, that you have to allow them into a certain aspect of your life or allow their energy to penetrate yours more than is beneficial for you. Because if you're allowing all these other energies to control or manipulate what you're doing under the bias of just like, oh, I'm just, we're just hanging out, but it's really that you lack boundaries. Like, you have things that you really should be doing, but you're like literally keeping yourself immersed in others because you don't want to take care of what you need to take care of. Like, that's not a good place to be. So right now you're learning balance. You're learning, okay, like, I can go out and party, but I also am going to have to do my coursework when I get home. It's like, because for a while it was like only party, party, party. And then it was like only coursework, completely sober, up at this time every day, doing it. It was very rigid. And then in the other sense, it was like you're partying for like 3 days at a time, 5 days out of the week. Like, you're just going, going, going. And at some point that got overwhelming. So then you tried to step into the rigid discipline of, okay, this is what I do. This is how I manage myself. This is my plan. But then that got really boring for you. So then now you're kind of just going back and forth. And I think you're really trying to learn harmony. I think you're really trying to learn harmony right now. You're trying to learn how to harmonize those aspects of yourself, because if you're never going out and having fun, especially if you're younger and you've never had that experience, you're going to always wonder what it was like, and you would rather get it out now than get it out later, But if that's all you're doing, then you're going to self-sabotage, and you're not going to be able to put the passion into your projects that you need to. You're not going to be able to have the direction that is necessary for you to take this to the next level. But I feel like the partying and the going out, that's very specific for somebody, but like the going out or the having fun, or like the lack of structure, like that flow state, that energy is so necessary for some of you. Like, that is a massive part of your mission in this lifetime, is to have fun. And I remember someone telling me that a while back. I feel like this channel message is very much for me as well, where it's just like, okay, you're supposed to have fun. Like, you're supposed to have fun. This is supposed to be fun. It was never supposed to be stressful. Some things are not always going to be enjoyable, but overall, this is supposed to be fun. So let yourself have fun with it. Don't bring yourself back into that state of just feeling guilty for having a good time, because a lot of you will have a good time and then feel guilty about having a good time because you feel like you're not allowed to. And that could have been how you were raised. Like, maybe you were raised like to just I think you were raised to always be doing something, and it's like you weren't ever allowed to take a day off. And then when you did take a day off, it was never like you got to do something you wanted to do. It was always that there were things left over just to deal with, or you were so exhausted from the days working prior that you just rested. Like, there was never any time for play. Even as a child, I feel like you just didn't play a lot as a kid. Like, you would want to, or you would try to, but it's almost like every time you would try to, something would interfere with it, or you would have very little time, or there was always this chaos in the background. So you never really got to enjoy the time that you had. It was avoidance, not actual fun. Like, you were doing things that were supposed to be fun to avoid what was going on, not doing things that were actually fun because they were actually fun, And it doesn't mean you had no fun, but it does mean that your fun was always tainted with chaos and pain and the assumption that things were not okay at home or at school or at work or whatever this resonates with for you. There was always this assumption that something was not okay. And so every time you had fun, you still just didn't really have fun, because in the back of your mind, you're literally like, oh, I know I'm having fun with my friends right now, but I'm going to go home and my parents are going to be fighting, or I'm going to go home and I'm going to have to do A, B, and C that no one else did, or I'm going to have to go to work after this night of sitting at home eating ice cream, and I'm going to hate my job, and she's going to say this and he's going to say that. Just there was always this tension in every aspect of your life where you couldn't enjoy where you were at. And I feel like now you're supposed to be enjoying where you're at. You made it. You're here. You enjoy where you are. Enjoy it. Have fun with it. Have so much fun with it. You can't just sit there and force yourself to keep doing things when either you're being called to rest or called to just have fun. And I feel like right now it's like this delicate balance between fun, rest, and discipline. And you're having to kind of maneuver it in a positive way because like a lot of you are in this very like flow state energy. And when you're in a flow state energy, that's beautiful, but that means you're really only doing things you feel like doing, which is great, which is beautiful, until you have the dishes piling up for 2 or 3 weeks because you haven't done it because it didn't feel fun. You know, so there's certain things, excuse me, it's like I need to burp, but I can't. That's really interesting. That could be significant for someone. Like maybe you've been trying to purge, but feel like you can't. But yeah, like there's this balance. Like, yes, run around, be free flow, do what you want, dance naked in the moon, run around barefoot, do your art, do your fun, go party, have a good time. But also do your dishes and sweep your floor and do your coursework, do your homework, do your work, you know, like do the things that need to be done. Make sure that you're maintaining consistency within things that are necessary and a flow within things that are fun. And again, don't do one or the other. You can't have one or the other and be happy in this life, you know? You can't only have fun all the time. Like you can, but you're gonna have to and if you can find the joy in everything, that's when you start to have fun all the time. That's the thing. But it's like you have to find joy in the mundane. You have to find joy in deep cleaning your bathroom. You have to find joy in doing your dishes. You don't have to, but that's if you want to have fun all the time or be happy all the time. But I feel like in life period, you can't feel that way all the time. There's a broad spectrum of emotions for us to feel, so that we don't feel one thing all the time. That's just how it works. So it's like, allow yourself to not enjoy doing the dishes, but do it. Doing it anyways and being like, okay, as soon as I get this done, I get to go out. Or as soon as I get this done, I get to paint. Or as soon as I get this done, I get to draw. Like whatever it is for you. Like as soon as I get the things done that I need to get done, then I get to do the things I want to do. Remember someone told me a while back, do the things you hate at the beginning of the day, because then it's done. And then you can have the rest of your day, the rest of your time to do whatever you want. If you're getting the things you hate to do out of the way first because you love yourself enough to deal with it, then that means that you can do the things that you actually love because you did the things that you need to do. And that's the thing. It's about loving yourself. I was talking with someone about this. I'm recording a podcast right now and I'll be putting out episodes soon, but I was talking to someone about this on the podcast, how like there's this very rigid, I have to do this because I have to do it in American culture, when it's like, do it out of love for yourself. Don't do it because, oh, I do this and I hate to do it because I don't want to do it. You're like, I do this even though I hate it because I love myself. And when you reframe that aspect of diligence for yourself, you get shit done. You get things done. You really get things done because you know that you love yourself enough to have those things out of the way, right? Because if you keep leaving it and it keeps piling up, you're going to have to deal with it eventually. You're going to have to. Everything gets dealt with eventually. It's all in good time. And if you don't deal with it now, it comes later, and it's worse when it comes later rather than just getting it out of the way now. And I feel like a lot of you are starting to realize this. The more you put things on the back burner, the more it gets charcoaled, like charred over, the more it's going to grow mold. You can't just leave it on the back burner, If you put something on the back burner, you have to move it to the front and keep cooking it eventually. Or clean the dish. You got to do something with it. You can't just leave it there on the back burner. So that's definitely significant for someone. It's like, really make sure that you're taking care of what you need to take care of. Make sure that you're addressing things that need to be addressed, and make sure that you're being there for yourself when you need to be there for yourself. And do things out of love. Don't do things out of pressure. Out of love, not pressure. All right, I hope you really enjoyed this channel message. I don't remember much of what I said. This is probably one that I'm going to have to go back and watch and hear for myself, because I probably need it. But I hope y'all enjoyed. Have a beautiful day. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, I'm going to put the link down in the description below. But have a beautiful, beautiful day. No, I said that 3 times, but yeah.